Hey everyone, VortexTCG here, and today I'm going to be showcasing you the most anticipated deck list of all time. Of course, it has to be DarkKnightmon, my personal favourite Digimon deck of all time. And BT12, while it hasn't had such pivotal support, we did get the security promo in the Dorumon as a box topper. So I feel like it's a good time to make an update to the deck, especially as Billsmon, even though it's being nerfed soon, has seen a lot of play. And I'll probably update the deck as we go on with the format, especially when we reach EXO4, because that has a lot of Dark Knight support. I'm going to be honest, I don't feel very confident about it, but I'll showcase the deck as well there. Anyways, if you're looking forward to this deck profile, please do like and subscribe to the channel. It does mean a lot, it helps me out a lot. And if you want previews or discussions, please check the community tab or go onto my Twitter. I usually talk about random stuff about Digimon on there myself. So let's get straight into the deck profile. And here is the Dark Knight deck profile. I'm going to quickly go over this before we go into depth about every card. So we play 4 Pagumon, 4 Promo Dorumon, 3 BT10 Monitormon, 3 BT8 Kokowagamon, 3 BT3 Tumon, 4 Deadly Axemon BT7, 4 BT7 Skull Knightmon, 4 BT8 Skull Knightmon Cavalier Mode, 4 BT10 Skull Knightmon Mighty Axe Mode, 4 BT10 DarkKnightmon, 2 BT7 DarkKnightmon, 3 DarkKnightmon X Antibody BT10, 4 Nene Amano, 2 Izzy Azumi, 1 Immortal Ruler, 2 Pride Memory Boost, and 3 Iron Fisted Onslaught. Let's get into the explanation. And so, let's get into the explanation part of the video. Let's talk about the egg first. We play 4 Pagumon, still the best black egg that you'd be playing right now. Allows you to essentially add a card from the top card of your deck. So yeah, you just play 4 of it. There isn't really a better egg out at the moment. We then play 4 of the brand new Dorumon promo. Essentially, this becomes a Pride Memory Boost in security. At the end of the battle, you can reveal the top card of your deck, and if it's a black Digimon with a play cost of 4 or less, you can play it without paying the memory cost. Add the remaining cards to your hand, and then add this card to your hand. So it's a nice little draw engine and play effect, and you get to activate this effect from security, and then you're able to potentially activate some of the other effects. And yeah, it's just a very good card, and it's kind of just purely made for Dark Knight, in my opinion. Then we play 3 Monitormon. This is arguably one of the better searches in the deck. Allows you to look at the top 4 cards. Allows you to add 2 cards that are either black with Nightmon, Deadly Axemon in their names, or with Twilight. So you're able to search the Tamer, you're able to search, I believe, the option card, and you're able to search pretty much all of the deck, essentially. So you play 3 of it. Then we play 3 Kokowamon. I will say that you will probably be cutting this card very soon due to the ban list, because this card, even though it still is very usable against Billsmon, you probably want to use your slots for something else, because Billsmon's play will go down, and so this card's importance will also go down. But at the moment, it essentially just slows down your opponent's Impmons, the ones that like to warp Digivolve, and that's very important. Because if you can slow them down and control them at your pace, you're essentially winning the game. What I will say is that once Impmon does get limited, I would suggest changing this for a 4th Monitormon, maybe another Pride Memory Boost, and you can always consider DefX in this deck list. Then we get on to the other rookie that hates everything, Tumon. Again, there's still loads of effects in the game that essentially gain memory from outside of Tamers, so you play 3 of this to slow them down even further. This is a real pain card for a lot of strategies, and will be for formats to come. So you play 3 of it, And this is actually the highest amount of rookies that I've ever played in DarkKnightmon, primarily because we're trying to counter Beelsmon, but again, in the future, we won't have to. Then we get into level 4s. 4 Deliaxmon. This is your primary searcher, allows you to look at top 5 cards, add 2 cards with Knightmon in their names, and you're able to gain 2k DP if it has Knightmon or Bagramon in its name. So essentially able to gain a lot of advantage with the Deliaxmon. Sometimes you'll just hard play this and you'll gain a lot of advantage that way. We also play 4 Skull Knightmon. Definitely does help. When attacking effect does come up, you get to trash all your sources from one of your Deliaxmon and then put this underneath to go into a Dark Knight for free. And the Inherited allows you to get secure attack +1 on a Knightmon or a Bagramon. Very important card to your strategy. The secure attack +1 is so pivotal, and yeah, it doesn't really do much for the effect because the Dark Knight you're primarily playing, you don't really want to go into using this effect, but sometimes it matters, and so we play this at 4. And then we play 4 Cavalier mode. This allows you to gain jamming and blocker when you digivolve, but most importantly, it's classed as a Skull Knight and a Deliaxmon. This is very important because sometimes you'll be at a point where you really want to play like a Dark Knight for Digicross requirements, and you don't have enough because, well, technically there's only, I believe, well, this only classes as a Skull Knight, so you need a Deliaxmon. So you need to find the extra pieces, and this is one of the better ones you can. It actually does make a lot of difference as well. Sometimes you don't have the tamer up, so the block is very important, and arguably the jamming is way more important because if you digivolve this on top of a Skull Knightmon, you're able to swing for 2 checks at 5, and they don't really have an answer for that. And yeah, it's also just probably one of the better cards in this archetype, if I'm being honest. We also have 4 Skull Knightmon Mighty Axe mode. Again, classes itself as a Deadly Axe or a Skull Knight at any time. On play, you get to reveal top 3 cards, get to add one with Knightmon, Deadly Axemon, or a Nene. And then if you digicross this for 2, you can also delete a 4 cost or less. Now, I want to remind you guys that if you play this from a Dark Knight, when it gets deleted, you're able to do the digicross requirements at any point. So as you're playing the card, essentially. So if you play this card, you're able to do the digicross requirements. You won't gain any memory or anything, but the deletion effect is very important to keep in mind. Let's get into the best card in the deck. 4 BT10 DarkKnightmon. This card is actually insane, and the fact that people rank this deck so low makes me sad because this card alone, like, it's just insane. But essentially, on play, you get to de-digivolve 1. Huge, because there's a lot of effects that, you know, there's like X antibody, and there's just like a lot of forms going on. And if you're playing against stuff like Armor Rush or something like that, this card's very pivotal. And then if you digicross this card, for 2 cards, you're able to delete a 5 cost or less. So you can digivolve one of their bigger stacks, and then you're able to potentially delete a lower level, mainly like a level 4. The level 5 cost is usually like a level 4. So very strong effect. And if this card were to be deleted, by returning a level 4 black lower Digimon from this card's sources, you can play another one from its sources, not suspended, without paying its memory cost. So essentially this becomes another searcher, because what you'll end up doing is that you'll end up returning like a Cavalier mode or a Skull Knightmon to then play a Mighty Axe or a Deadly Axemon, which allows you to draw, search more cards, continuing your aggression. So very important, criminally underrated deck, and that is one of the reasons why. We also have 2 BT7 DarkKnightmon, very similar, but has a unique property about it. So on play, you get to just add a Skull Knight and a Deadly Axemon from the trash or hand underneath this Digimon, which means that you already have the effect set up for its deletion effect, which allows you to play 1 Skull Knight and or a Deadly Axe from sources without paying their memory cost. So essentially, paying 7 for this essentially almost kind of gives you the value of about a 12 to like 16 cost, because or not, it's like 11 to 15 cost, because essentially you're able to go delete this, and then you're able to get searches with your Deadly Axe or the Mighty Axe mode as well, which are suspended when they come in play, but you're able to get so much advantage from just this alone. Then we get onto the boss monster. We have free DarkKnightmon X antibody. You get to return any black or purple card from your trash. It has to be a Digimon though. And then you're able to, if you have a Dark Knight or an X antibody underneath this card, you can delete a tamer, then unsuspend this Digimon. This essentially means that you're able to get rid of problematic tamers that your opponent might have, and then you're able to essentially unsuspend. So there's a way you can finish your opponent off here by deleting your own tamer. And on deletion, you're able to play a Dark Knight from your trash without paying its memory cost. This means you can play the BT7 one, which allows you to go for the free block strategy, but also you're able to play the BT10 one, and if you play the BT10 one, you could do Digicross requirements as well, interrupting your opponent's flow, game flow. So keep that in mind. This card is insane, but I've decided to lower it to free now because it can be a bit bricky at points. Nene Amano, our first tamer, and one of the best tamers, arguably. You get to do a search when you play it. On your opponent's turn, all your DarkKnightmons or cards with Twilight gain blocker, and when this gets deleted, you gain 2 memory. So you have a little bit of protection, because if they decide to delete this, you're gaining 2 memory, which is huge. You gain protection from with the blocker effect. That's what this deck mainly does, and you're able to search with this card as well. So this card, you have to play at 4. I can't imagine playing it at anything lower. 2 is Izumi. All the deck is black, so essentially you're able to get this for free, and it allows you to fix your top decks, which is very important for this deck. 1 Immortal Ruler. I had a bit of a discussion with another Digimon YouTuber about this card, but I think this card is genuinely broken, but it's not broken to the point where you play 4 copies of this card. But essentially, if you have a Nene, you don't have to have any of the color requirements, and then you can trash the top 3 cards of your deck. Then you may play a DarkKnightmon from your trash for its play cost. But if you play a card with Digicross requirements, you can use your trash for the Digicross. So essentially this becomes your DarkKnightmon 5, your BT10 one, which is very important because it just helps you interrupt your opponent more, and if you're playing against the mirror match, this card is very pivotal as well. Then you have 2 Prime Memory Boost. You would normally play more of this, but now you have the Doraemon promo. It's less needed, I would say, but if you are cutting the Kokomon that I mentioned earlier, definitely consider adding more Prime Memory Boost. And then for our final card, we have free Iron Fisted Onslaught. We need a card that can remove cards, essentially, and there are a lot of Digimon in the game currently that have like the similar play costs at a higher level, so I prefer Iron Fisted Onslaught to get rid of those stacks. Anyways, that has been my deck profile for DarkKnightmon. At the moment, I do feel like it is a very strong meta contender. I don't think people really understand the power of DarkKnightmon at all, especially when there's just a lot of reasonings for it. But if you play against it, you know why, and I think for a lot of people, they just don't understand. So I think if you're looking for a new deck that is very competitive and very strong, I would definitely recommend DarkKnightmon, especially as EX4 is coming out soon. But let me know what you guys think about DarkKnightmon in the comment section down below. Interact with me on Twitter about updates on the Digimon card game, and like and subscribe to the channel so you can get updates and new videos when they do go live. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you guys next time.